I would just speak highly to myself, even if it was fucking lies. I needed to hear it. I needed to believe the cat. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Ro back in the video. I'm gonna tell you what to do in the first meeting with the graphic design client. Stay tuned to check it out. Peace. So usually when I get an inquiry about a client wanting to work with me or something like that, I'll send them a list of questions, and depending on how they respond is how I'll know if I want to work with them or not. I like to sniff out the BS early, that way I don't waste my time, I don't waste their time. So some of the questions I like to ask are, hey, insert name, it was great receiving an inquiry from you today. I would love to know about your branding needs. Tell me about your business, what industry is it in? When do you want to start working on the project? What's the deadline for the project? Would you be interested in a free consultation? If so, click here and choose a time that works best for you. And lastly, how did you hear about us? Let me know if you have any questions. I would love to work with you on your project. Looking forward to hearing from you, Darrell. So if they respond back to that with like low effort or like just lazy answers, I already know that's not someone I want to work with, because it's letting me know they don't value my time already, and they're just not enthusiastic about working together in general. People with low effort answers, or just like someone will say, what industry is it in? It's car service. And I'm like, well, there's plenty of car services out there. Are you cleaning the cars? Are you detailing the cars? Are you driving the cars? Are you Uber? What are you doing? So what's the service? Like, if they can't even give me any more information about that, I already know that's not someone I want to work with. So I'll politely respond back, hey, I don't think we'll be a good fit for you on this project, but I would like to wish you the best going forward. And that's the end of it. I won't even waste my time. In the past, I've talked to people and they've given me low value answers during this time, and ended up being the biggest waste of time. Like, they were just lazy, or it just wasn't worth it to work with them. So another thing that I do before I even do the discovery call part, I research the brand. I look up who they are, I look up what they're doing online, I look up all that, because people are getting canceled in 2024, my baby, and I want no parts of that shit. I want no parts. Like, if they don't hear wild racist, or they don't hear wild sexist, or they just super homophobic, or just doing some weird shit online, I'm thinking brand first, always. I do not want to attach my brand to another brand that doesn't represent the values that I represent, with just being a good human being. But if you online just bashing people for random reasons, I'ma pass on it. It ain't worth the money at that point. So look into who they are, check out and see what they be on. Like, that'll let you know off top if you want to work with them again. All right, so say they do answer the questions, with the adequate amount of effort, and they're showing high signs of someone that wants to work with you, then I'll reiterate on setting up a discovery call. For me, I used to hate discovery calls. I'm an introvert. I hated discovery calls, but it transformed my business because it made me more human. When you're just talking to someone through a screen, there's no human interaction there. It's just words on a screen. But when you're talking on the phone, or you're talking on FaceTime or Zoom or whatever, this is a real person. This is a real living human being. They're not scamming me. They're not trying to hide behind an email, or not trying to hide behind something to take my money. So I implore you guys to start setting up discovery calls. Oh, also another thing, make sure to never, unless it's a rush job, unless you're getting paid extra, never set up a same day discovery call, because you need to give yourself time to prepare mentally. You need to get your notes ready. You need to get your questions ready. You need to just be prepared. And if it's the same day and you probably got other things lined up, you can't get prepared, and that will hurt your business in the long run. That'll hurt you in the long run. All right, so now that the schedule is called.
What?
And the schedule is called, it's crazy. Now that the call is scheduled and it's on your calendar and it's ready to go, this is the worst part of being a freelancer or a design owner or just a creative in general. You got to connect with people. I get it. For me, like, depending on how far out it's set up, I would be thinking about it all day, every day, because I dreaded the day where I had to speak to another human being. I'm a true introvert. Like, I will go days without saying anything, but that's not a good thing. So here's some things that I took to fix this and to right the ship, because not doing discovery calls and not connecting with people is gonna hurt your business in the long run. It happened to me. So I would do mental prep. First and foremost, I would take away the significance of it. It's really not that big of a deal. In your life, you've had thousands, maybe millions of conversations with people. So why is this conversation different from those? Just because there's money attached to it? It shouldn't be. This is just a regular conversation. between two people doing something. They're reaching out because they need something that you offer and they're intrigued by what you offer. At that point, just talk about your passion. I tried to take away the significance of it all, and I tried to make it less than what it was, because in my mind, I had built it up so big that it would psych me out the game. When you strip away all this bullshit, and you strip away all the labels, everything else, it's really just two people having a conversation. That's it. It's really not that big of a deal. One thing I like to do is meditate. Take 3 to 4 minutes to just have a pointed meditation. They got them all on YouTube. I then would I would go right into a breathing session. Yes, it was that serious for me. Yes, it was. I'm telling you, I am an introvert. I love to create, but I don't like the business part of it. Like this part of the business, I hated it. So I had to breathe. I didn't want to be as dramatic as it's coming off, but these are things I had to do to make it to this point. I then affirm myself, tell myself I'm doing great, doing awesome. Keep going, Relly, you're doing good.
You gotta tell yourself good job first. You gotta tell yourself you're doing good first, because if you don't believe, nobody will, you know what I mean? So, good job. Numbers.
And I would prepare a list of questions, because if I'm prepared, that just gives me more of a script to go off of. And lastly, I would affirm my worthiness. I am worthy of offering my services to these people. I am worthy of getting paid for my services. And I'm great at connecting with people. I would just speak highly to myself, even if it was fucking lies. I needed to hear it. I needed to believe the cat. All right, so now it's time to meet up with them. I would say set up a Zoom call or a Windows team meeting versus just a regular phone call. We want to add more human elements to it. We want to make sure that they know we're a real human being. They know that we're not scamming people. We're offering real services. We just want to connect more with them. It's kind of like a dating app. You can sit on a dating app all day and swipe left, right, left, right, or you can try to talk to someone through a dating app and it goes nowhere. Versus when you're in person and they get to see you, they get to feel your energy, they get to speak to you, they get to know, hey, this is more than just words on the screen. This is a real human being. This is a real person. Oh, okay. Maybe I could see myself going on a date with this person. You know what I mean? So just try to see if they're available for a Zoom call or a Windows team meeting. If not, a phone call will suffice, but I would always prefer just to do the visual and audio as well. So off rip, I greet and introduce myself. I tell them a little bit about my background in graphic design. That way, I don't have to talk a lot. I can just get my shit out the way, and then I can put all the conversation on them. I always look to have them talk the most, because they're coming to me anyway. They need something I got to offer. I want them to speak, and I want to know all of their pain points. I want to know what they're looking for, why they're looking for it, what time they're looking for it, when do they need it, everything. You feel me? And I can't get that information if I'm the one talking the whole time. The more they speak, the more they feel connected with you. And people in business, they only do business with people that they feel connected with. The more that they speak, the more they feel connected to you, the more they probably gonna pay you. So let their ass talk, bro. Okay, so a big one that I like to do is find a connection point. So what I'll do is I'll find something that they've said or what they've done or what they're wearing or just anything, and I find a connection point to it. For example, I was having a call with the client. He had on a dope The Hundreds jacket. Big fan of The Hundreds, and it was Pennywise. It was their collaboration with Pennywise. Love Pennywise. So I let him get out, I let him talk, I took notes, I was responding, but I kept it in the back of my mind, okay, how can I connect more with this jacket? So what I did was, I noticed that he was wearing that jacket. He was at work, but he's like on lunch. I said, man, that's a dope jacket. Where'd you get that from? I knew where the fuck he got it from. I know the brand. I knew what day they released it. I even tried to buy it, but it was sold out. And he was like, oh man, I got it from the Hundreds website in 2018. I was like, man, that's super dope, man. Now I'm looking at my jacket. I'm like, damn, I need to step my game up. He started laughing, I started laughing, we connected. And then at that point, you know, we not only did we connect, but we worked more on future projects, you know. After we connected, then it was like, oh shit, this dude's cool, you know? And it might be a subtle piece of manipulation, but I really did like the jacket. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't no fake motherfucker. I love the jacket. I love the Hundreds, I love Pennywise. I would've wore that fucking jacket. Matter of fact, I want it. All right, so here are some of the discovery call questions I like to ask my people during my calls. Tell me about your project. This is not really a question, but it does allow them to speak about the vision for their project and what they're looking to do for the project. It tells me how deeply they've thought about it. It tells me the art direction they kind of want to go in without even asking it. And it also tells me that this person is serious about this person believes in this, and this person is willing to not only invest their money but their time into this. So then I go even deeper. Okay, tell me about your vision for the project. Let's center in on the vision. Like, do you see this being a side hustle? Do you see it being a Fortune 500 company? Do you see it being a full-time job? Do you see it being something you could pass down to your children? What is it about this vision for this project that is pushing you? What's driving you? What's making you work on this after hours, after your job? What's making you work on it before your job? What is pushing you to do this? Let's dig deep. People, when you ask them that and you allow them to just speak on it, they will speak. And this is the perfect time to be taking notes. All right, so now that we know the vision, what about this project are you looking to achieve in the next 30 days? Okay, so that gives me the framework and the timeline. Okay, in the next 30 days, they want to just start off and build the foundation. They want to design a logo. They want to design a flyer. They want to launch it in 30 days. It's probably not possible. We can do that in 60 for sure, maybe 90. In the next 30 days, they for sure want a logo. They want their colors. They want a social media setup, all this shit. Okay, cool. That lets me start to build my package for their branding. Okay, so say they want all this in the next 30 days, like the logo, the colors, the social media marketing or branding and stuff like that. Okay, so the first package needs to have those things included, or it needs to have a slimmer version of those things included, like the logo, the color, and a business card, just to start getting the word out there. And then the next package could be the social media branding, more promotional work like a flyer, a banner, and then we go to a website and buy the third package. And some people will go straight to the third package, they all in, but then some people you got to start off small with the first package, the second package, or go from there. Okay, what brand assets are you looking for? I want to hone in on the brand assets because that allows me to answer the question for the second package and the third package. Some people don't always need a website. Some people just don't want it, or some people actually want it. Some people actually want a business because they want the whole thing. And it starts to tell me a little bit about their budget without having to ask what brands inspire the design you're looking for. Because some people will say, the Marathon or just something like that, but then they'll also say, I like PlayStation's branding. These are two different things. So that'll let me know, okay, I'm gonna take notes on both. I'm gonna see a connection point between the two brands, and I'm gonna find a middle ground between the two, about the colors, about the brand messaging, about the logo, the history of the logo, the history of the brand, the owners, et cetera, et cetera. And then lastly, my favorite question, what's your budget? Because that's gonna tell me if we can fit this into it. Now, some people say I got $1,000. That'll let me know, okay, cool, let me put a budget together for $1,000. They'll tell me I got 10,000, I got 20,000, I got 50K. Who knows? It ranges. At that point, it's your choice to decide if you can do all that and go from there. Set boundaries. This is important as fuck. Boundaries are extremely important. If you don't set boundaries, you can be getting calls at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. You could be asleep, you could be working, you could be at your job. It's a lot, man. So if you don't set boundaries early, you're gonna end up like I did. Let me tell you. When I first started, dog, I had a certain client, honestly, he was paying me $300 for a t-shirt design, like multiple. And he was calling me just random, like we were just, it was crazy. He was calling me at 2 a.m. to have brainstorming session. I just could not understand what was happening. I didn't know what was happening. I was like, why is this man calling me at 3 a.m. dog? I'm asleep, G. I'm tired. I done left work. I've been asleep. I've been working on this brand all night. I'm working on his shit. I'm working on my shit. I got a full-time job. I had a wife. Like, I was exhausted, bro. And then he'd call me, and if I picked up, he wouldn't be talking about shit. He'd just be brainstorming. He'd be talking about things that we already answered hours ago or days before. So I had to get to the point where I was like, okay, I need to ask myself a few questions. How did we get here? How do I avoid this in the future? And what do I do now? Whew. It used to piss me off. Bro, it used to make me so mad. But it was my fault because I didn't set boundaries. I didn't even know to set boundaries. I didn't really, I didn't have a lot of clients like that. I wasn't experienced like that. I didn't really know what I was doing. So before you start making these mistakes, set boundaries. Because if you don't, here's what's gonna happen to you. If you don't set boundaries, you're gonna be getting them 3 a.m. calls. You're gonna be getting random emails. You're gonna have people making changes to designs. They're gonna make 1,000 revisions and then come back and go to revision number 1. They just want to see what the other 999 look like. Fuck that shit. That used to piss me off too, I'll tell you. So what I did to combat that, I started running myself like a business. I'm only open from 9 to 6, Monday through Thursday. I'm not fuck off on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those are my work days because I was working a full-time job. And then from 9 to 6, I'm only available for calls from 1 to 2. Not only did I set up those boundaries for people to call me, but I said the best way to reach me is either through Asana or email. I stopped doing phone calls unless they scheduled it in advance. That way I'm prepared. I'm not just getting these random 3 a.m. calls or 2 a.m. calls. My wife think I'm got hoes. Like, I made it to where you couldn't reach me on the same day. You had to schedule it for the next day or the next week. And then I set up a contract to where if you call me consecutively, back to back, that terminates the project and I'm keeping the money. Again, I set myself up like a business because I had to protect myself. My mental health was going through hell, dealing with all these different energies and dealing with all these different people who would just call you just to have conversations. Like, that's one of the downfalls of being relatable and making people feel like families. They will overstep some boundaries if you don't set them. So do yourself a favor, set those boundaries. So that's the end of this video. I can do a part 2 if you're interested. Let me know. And as always, I love you guys and y'all be cool. Peace.